Welcome back to Bible Quizzes. We have another 40 questions for you guys. Let's get into it. Question 1. What token did Jacob give to Joseph that caused hatred among his other sons? Ring, cup, or coat? Coat. Genesis 37:3. Now Israel loved Joseph more than all his children, because he was the son of his old age, and he made him a coat of many colors. And when his brethren saw their father loved him more than all his brethren, they hated him. 2. In what place did Joseph's brother drop him into a pit? Dothan, Dedan, or Duma? Dothan. Genesis 37:17-24. And Joseph went after his brethren and found them in Dothan. And they, Joseph's brethren, took him, Joseph, and cast him into a pit, and the pit was empty. There was no water in it. 3. What causes Sarah to question her ability to have a child? Old age, God's promise, or her body? Old age. Genesis 21:7. And she said, Who would have said unto Abraham that Sarah should have given children suck? For I have borne him a son in his old age. 4. Who was the Amorite ruler who refused Israelites' request to pass through his country? Shemuel, Sihon, or Shamgar? Sihon. Numbers 21:23. And Sihon would not suffer Israel to pass through his border, but Sihon gathered all his people together and went out against Israel into the wilderness, and he came to Jahaz and fought against Israel. 5. What was the outcome of Miriam's criticizing Moses' interracial marriage? She was stoned, she was exiled, or she was leprous? She was leprous. Numbers 12:10. And the cloud departed from off the tabernacle, and behold, Miriam became leprous, white as snow. And Aaron looked upon Miriam, and behold, she was leprous. 6. What was the outcome of the spymen who reported negatively about Canaan? They were stoned to death, they were plagued and died, or they were pardoned. They were plagued and died. Numbers 14:36-37. And the men slander upon the land, even those men that did bring up the evil report upon the land, died by the plague before the Lord. 7. At what age did Moses die? 100, 110, or 120? 120. Deuteronomy 34:7. And Moses was 120 years old when he died. His eyes was not dim, nor his natural force abated. 8. In which book are the Ten Commandments repeated? Leviticus, Numbers, or Deuteronomy? Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy 5:1-2. And Moses called all Israel and said unto them, Hear, O Israel, the statutes and judgments which I speak in your ears this day, that ye may learn them, and keep and do them. The Lord our God made a covenant with us in Horeb. 9. Who defeated Chushan-Rishathaim? Kenaz, Caleb, or Othniel? Othniel. Judges 3:9-10. Othniel, the son of Kenaz, Caleb's younger brother, and the Spirit of the Lord came upon him, and he judged Israel and went out to war. And the Lord delivered Chushan-Rishathaim, king of Mesopotamia, into his hand, and his hand prevailed against Chushan-Rishathaim. 10. Why did the Lord strengthen Eglon against Israel? They have done evil, they worship idols, or they neglected the Sabbath. They have done evil. Judges 3:12. And the children of Israel did evil again in the sight of the Lord. And the Lord strengthened Eglon the king of Moab against Israel, because they had done evil in the sight of the Lord. 11. Where did Boaz first notice Ruth? In his field, Ruth 2:8. Then said Boaz unto Ruth, Hearest thou not, my daughter? Go not to glean in another field, neither go from hence, but abide here fast by my maidens. 12. Which ruler of Persia decreed the rebuilding of the temple in Jerusalem? Artaxerxes, Darius, or Cyrus? Cyrus. Ezra 1:2. Thus saith Cyrus king of Persia, The Lord of God of heaven hath given me all the kingdoms of the earth, and he hath charged me to build him an house at Jerusalem, which is in Judah. 13. Who served as cupbearers to King Artaxerxes of Persia? Nehemiah, Mordecai, or Ezra? Nehemiah. Nehemiah 1:11. O Lord, I, Nehemiah, beseech thee, I pray thee thy servant this day, and grant him mercy in the sight of this man, King Artaxerxes, for I was the king's cupbearer. 14. What main issue did Nehemiah tackle regarding marriages? Strange wives, national unity, or economic prosperity? Strange wives. Nehemiah 13:27. Shall we then hearken unto you to do all this great evil, to transgress against our God in marrying strange wives? 15. Who is the sweet psalmist of Israel? David. 2 Samuel 23:1. Now these be the last words of David. David the son of Jesse said, And the man who was raised up on high, the anointed of the God of Jacob, and the sweet psalmist of Israel. 16. What analogy does Psalm 23 use to represent God's care? Mighty fortress, shepherd's care, or guiding light? Shepherd's care. Psalm 23:1. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. 17. What isn't prophesied in the Messianic psalm? Parted garments, pierced hands, or melted heart? Melted heart. Psalm 22. For dogs have compassed me, the assembly of the wicked have enclosed me. They pierced my hands and my feet. They part my garments among them, and cast lots upon my vesture. 18. What seems acceptable to a man yet directs him toward destruction? Own ways, mighty strength, or riches increase? Own ways. Proverbs 14:12. There is a way which seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. 19. What is the result of guarding one's mouth and tongue? Brings happiness, ensures honor, or preserves life? Preserves life. Proverbs 13:3. He that keepeth his mouth keepeth his life, but he that openeth wide his lips shall have destruction. 20. What is the effect of a soft answer? Increases wealth, secures honor, or turns wrath? Turns wrath. Proverbs 15:1. A soft answer turneth away wrath, but grievous words stir up anger. 21. What advice does Ecclesiastes emphasize about companionship? Gathers wisdom, better together, or finds rest? Better together. Ecclesiastes 4:9. Two are better than one because they have a good reward for their labor. 22. What's the conclusion of the whole matter? Fear God, seek wisdom, or enjoy life? Fear God. Ecclesiastes 12:13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. 23. In what poetic terms does the Song of Solomon differentiate the beloved from other women? As a lily among thorns, rose among thistles, or sun among stars? As the lily among thorns. Song of Solomon 2:2. As the lily among thorns, so is my love among the daughters. 24. In Song of Solomon 8:6, what is likened as strong as death? Love, wisdom, or love? Love. Song of Solomon 8:6. Set me as a seal upon thine heart, as a seal upon thine arm, for love is strong as death. Jealousy is cruel as the grave, the coals thereof are coals of fire, which hath a most vehement flame. 25. What is the promise to those who wait upon the Lord? Lasting joy, renewed strength, or divine guidance? Renewed strength. Isaiah 40:31. But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint. 26. Who is said to have fallen from heaven? Lucifer. Isaiah 14:12. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nation? 27. How many titles are attributed to the child in Isaiah's prophecy? 4, 5, or 6? 5. Isaiah 9:6. For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder, and his name shall be called Wonderful Counselor, the Mighty God, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. 28. What is new every morning from the Lord? Guidance, judgment, or compassion? Compassion. Lamentations 3:22-23. It is of the Lord's mercies that we are not consumed, because his compassions fail not. They are new every morning. Great is thy faithfulness. 29. What happened in Jerusalem in Lamentation 1? She becomes mighty, she becomes a tributary, or she becomes desolate. She becomes a tributary. Lamentations 1:1. How doth the city Jerusalem sit solitary? That was full of people. How is she become as a widow? She that was great among the nations and princess among the provinces. How is she become a tributary? 30. What does Hosea emphasize holds more value than burnt offerings? Love of God, mercies of God, or knowledge of God? Knowledge of God. Hosea 6:6. For I desired mercy and not sacrifice, and the knowledge of God more than burnt offerings. 31. What does Hosea reveal about how Israel started? When Israel was a conqueror, when Israel was a child, or when Israel was a stranger? When Israel was a child. Hosea 11:1. When Israel was a child, then I, God, loved him and called my son out of Egypt. 32. What will happen to the house of Esau? Who will forever gather together, or no survivors? No survivors. Obadiah 1:18. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them, and devour them. And there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord hath spoken it. 33. Where did Obadiah's vision come from? The Lord. Obadiah 1:1. The vision of Obadiah. Thus saith the Lord God. 34. What does Micah say the Lord requires of you? Offer sacrifices, do justly, or keep silence? Do justly. Micah 6:8. He hath shewed thee, O man, what is good, and what doth the Lord require of thee, but to do justly, and to love mercy, and to walk humbly with thy God. 35. What shall be shaken terribly in Nahum? Fir trees, oak forests, or cedar trees? Fir trees. Nahum 2:3. The shield of his mighty men is made red, the valiant men are in scarlet, the chariots shall be with flaming torches in the day of his preparation, and the fir trees shall be terribly shaken. 36. What does Habakkuk say about makers of idols? A teacher of dumb, a teacher of lies, or a teacher of evil? A teacher of lies. Habakkuk 2:18. What profiteth the graven image that the maker thereof hath graven it, the molten image, and a teacher of lies that the maker of his work trusteth therein to make dumb idols? 37. What does Paul say about the Cretans in his letter to Titus? Always liars, always loving, or often confused? Always liars. Titus 1:12. One of themselves, even a prophet of their own, said, the Cretans are always liars, evil beasts, slow bellies. 38. What does Paul say is purified for those who are pure? Law, all things, or works? All things. Titus 1:15. Unto the pure all things are pure, but unto them that are defiled and unbelieving is nothing pure, but even their mind and conscience is defiled. 39. Under whose leadership did Paul request his judgment in Rome? Caesar, Agrippa, or Pilate? Caesar. Acts 25:11. For if I, Paul, be an offender, or have committed anything worthy of death, I refuse not to die. But if there be none of these things whereof these accuse me, no man may deliver me unto them. I appeal unto Caesar. 40. What warning does Revelation give for adding the words of the prophecy? Shall be blessed, shall be saved, or shall be plagued? Shall be plagued. Revelation 22:18. For I testify unto every man that heareth the words of the prophecy of this book, if any man shall add unto these things, God shall add unto him the plagues that are written in this book. And that's all the questions we have for today. And remember, put your score down below in the comments and share this with your friends and family to compare your scores. Then we'll see you in the next one.